Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing about the classical approaches of management. We will be discussing. So, we have many approaches where we have early classical approaches, we have administrative management, and we have even modern approaches. So, all these three things we are going to discuss. So, first one is scientific management, which was described or which was explained by Frederick Winslow, and this here indicates his the time which he born and he died, and he is considered as the father of scientific management, and he exerted a great influence on the development of the management through his experiment and writings. And he conducted as a series of experiments in three companies: Midway Steel, Siemens Rolling Machine, and Bethlehem Steel, while serving as a chief engineers of Midway Steel Company for a period of 26 years. So here we can say, even in another words, he is the father of the early classical approach. Why? Because he is the one who first termed this management, that too in the scientific way. So how it is possible for him to write a book about the management is, you can able to see here. I have listed down the companies where he worked as an employee, and the experiments what he gained in these companies really helped him to write his book as an experiment. And his intention was so clear that whatever he is trying it, he just made it as an experiment. And maybe starting from the way we conduct an experiment, the same way he followed all these years, and finally he could able to write a book based on his experience. Then moving to the next one, that is administrative management, where here we call Henry Foyle. He's the father of administrative management, and his year you can able to see it is he born on 1841 and he died on 1925, and where he focused mainly on the development of broad administrative principles. Broad administrative principle is nothing but where he is not considered the smaller changes, or like the minor problems, or the minor progress what and all happened in between the achievement of the final goal. He is not considered. He focused only on the administrative principle, that is the goal or the aim which was decided by the administration. And basically he was a French mining engineer, and later he turned as a leading industrialist and a successful manager. And by here I'm using the word successful manager means because he never faced a major downfall during his career, and he provided a broad analytical framework of the process of administration. So it doesn't mean that the people who is involved only in the mining, the engineering thing, they need to follow his principle. It's nothing like that. Anybody can able to follow his managerial principles, because it was written very clearly, and it is applicable for all kind of managerial roles. Then moving to the modern approaches, and even it is also called as a quantitative approach. And why this modern approach is also called as the quantitative approach means because it is a science approach. The focus of this quantitative approaches on decision making. That is, we will be providing the quantitative tools and the techniques for making objectively rational decisions. The rational decisions is means predicting the future based on the present and the past situations, and accordingly acting so that the final output can be the successful. It means as ability or willingness to follow a reasoned, unemotional, orderly, and scientific approach in visualizing the totality of the decision environment. And this approach gained movement during the World War II, when United Kingdom and United States of America trying to seek solutions for a number of new complex problems occurred during the war. A group of scientists engaged for this purpose were known as operation research team. I think now it is very common, considered as very common subjects where people are studying based on these research, okay, that is the operations research which was carried during World War II. And the management approach gained popularity through two post-war phenomena, the development of high-speed computers and communications among computers provided the means for tackling the complex and large-scale organization problems. So everything was possible based on this operation research team. So a mix of team specialists from relevant disciplines is called to analyze and the problem and to propose a course of action to the management. The team constructs their mathematical model to simulate the problem, which is symbolic terms, all relevant factors that bear the problems and the interrelationship amongst them. By changing the values of the variables in the model, generally with the computer, and the team can determine the effect of each change. So thus we can conclude that the focus is on quantitative approach and is based on decision making with quantitative tools and the techniques for making objectively rational decisions. Approach facilitates disciplined thinking, precision and perfection by expressing relationships in quantitative terms, which has been widely used in planning and control activities where problems can be precisely identified and defined in quantitative terms. Then again, we just discussed briefly about roles of management, which was widely discussed in video 5. But still, if we speak about these three approaches, like early, modern, and quantitative approach, even it is very important to know more about the role of management. In olden days, a management wear many hats because to differentiate a normal employee with the management, these hats played a very important role. Not only in a managerial team, but he or she is also a planner, organizer, cheerleader, coach, problem solver, and decision making, all rolled into one. And these are just a few of managers' role. In addition, managers' schedules are usually jam-packed because always they keep themselves very busy full 24 bar 7. Whether they are busy with employees meetings or unexpected problems or the strategy decisions, managers often find little spare time on their calendars. These roles fall into three categories. That is, first one is the interpersonal, because this role involves the human interactions, where we have a monitor, because monitor is nothing but seek and receive the information, and he scan all the documents periodically and reports, and he maintains personal contact with the stakeholders. And we have disseminators, where he forward information to organizations members through memos, reports, and phone calls. And we have spokesperson, where he transmits information to outsiders through reports, memos, and speeches. And second one is the informational, where the role of these kind of managers involves the sharing and analyzing of information. So maybe figurehead, leader, and liaison. So figurehead is nothing but perform ceremonial and symbolic duties such as greeting visitors and signal legal documents. Then the leader function is direct and motivate subordinates, counsel, and communicate with subordinates. And liaison is nothing but maintain information links both inside and outside organizations through mail, phone calls, and meetings. And decisionals, this role involves decision making, decisional entrepreneur initiate improvement projects, identify new ideas, and delegate new idea responsibility to others. So it includes disturbance, resource, and negotiators. Disturbance takes corrective action during disputes or handle crisis, resolve conflicts among subordinates, adapt to environment. Resources, managers decide who gets resources, prepare allocator budgets, set schedules, and determine priorities. Negotiators represent departments during negotiations of union contracts, sales, purchase, and budgets. Thank you.